I don't like to do the whole introduction because I feel like people get like super nervous when it comes down to the whole podcast. Mm-hmm. So I'd like to just kind of like start it like that and.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself? Just the basics or not?
You want my name, social security, and date of birth?
Yeah, I guess just your name. You don't have to put like all your things out there. I know you probably just so people can get an understanding where you grew up, how old are you, things like that, and then we'll dive into everything.
Okay. My name is Isabel.
Yep.
I am 27 years old, and I grew up a little bit of everywhere.
Okay.
So.
But here in San Diego, or no?
Here in San Diego, yeah.
Okay.
So I grew up here. I lived in Oceanside for a little bit, like up north for a little bit as well.
Okay.
So.
Nice. So. Well, one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to do the podcast with you was because you reached out to me. You're like, hey, I want to know more of ayahuasca, mm-hmm. right? And a few people actually reached out, but a lot of people just want to know just to know, right?
Yeah.
Just for el chisme, but you actually followed through.
Yeah.
So that got me intrigued.
Yeah. I remember messaging you, just asking for because I watched Chelo's video of her experience with ayahuasca and yours, which was, I think the most important thing is I like watching YouTube videos, right, and podcasts, and videos like that is so relatable.
Right.
Right. And I'm on my spiritual journey. So listening to your guys' podcast and your ceremony experience, that's why I reached out. I was like, hey, can I have the shaman's information? Yeah. But I'm really like, I have to do this now. Like, I got to get it done. So I reached out, and then within the next week, I went.
Wow. So within a week span, you got...
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. Before you reached out or watched the podcast that we did, had you heard of ayahuasca in the past?
Yes.
Okay. How is it that you first heard of ayahuasca?
Well, like I said, I was trying... Well, I am very spiritual, right? I see mediums, tarot readers, psychics, really into it. So I like watching podcasts about it or videos or even my spiritual advisors that I speak with. So I was looking up, like, what can I do? First, it was like mushrooms and psychedelics. Mind you, I don't like smoke weed or get drunk. I don't do none of that. So I was like, oh, maybe not mushrooms. So I was like, and I found a video about ayahuasca. And then I seen the Will Smith interview, too, about him talking about his experience about it. So then I started looking it up and seeing, okay, maybe this is something I need to do. This is more deep, like my soul, my spirit. I need this because my I don't know, she doesn't like to be called that. I guess my spiritual advisor, she's like, you really need to do something because your heart has a lot of, it's very, your heart carries a lot of pain. So you need to fix that. If not, you're going to continue the same patterns. I like self-sabotage a lot.
So why is it, if you don't mind me asking, why is it that you go to all these different people? You go to different people for different services, right?
Yes.
Why do you go to them?
I guess I grew up around them. My mom, my grandma, like to botanicas, right? Like when you feel like stuff like that. Right, so my mom and my grandma would go and see them for like stuff, para abundancia, dinero, whatever, para hacer una limpia para la casa, stuff like that. So I grew up in it. And then I was already 15 years old going to go see what my mom would call him padrino, que me echara las cartas. And this is what you need to do. This is what you need to be careful. This is like, so I grew up around it and I love it. Always for the good stuff. I'm always trying to protect my energy, protect my family, protect everything around me and myself, right? Because I've had people that have tried to harm me, spiritually attack, I guess you would say, in a negative way. So I felt like I've always had to protect myself in some way.
Wow.
Yeah.
How'd you find out that somebody wanted to, I guess, hurt you in a spiritual way?
I was with my first daughter, her dad. We were having some problems, and then my daughter started getting sick, and I felt like something was wrong. My house, my energy, I don't know if I'm a very energy reader. So when you feel like something's wrong, like algo está mal. So I felt like something was going on. Like my baby's getting sick, my money was running out. And I was just like, I felt stuck. And that's like the worst thing, to feel like stuck. Like, I don't know where to go. Where do I go from here?
Right.
So I went to the padrino y me echó las cartas y me dice, hey, like, whoever the person you're with is messing with, te está haciendo brujería. And then he's like, ¿tienes un tapete enfrente de tu puerta? And I'm like, yeah. Dijo, te echaron tierra from the panteón.
No way.
So, look, Chelo knows what I'm talking about. Someone threw, can I curse?
Yeah.
Someone threw fucking graveyard dirt at my door. So when I stepped on it, I brought it in my house.
Wow.
And I was like, I want to say 20 years old.
Oh, damn.
I was like 20 because my daughter wasn't even 1 yet. I was like 20 years old. So that, I was like, oh my God, so what I got to do? Then he tells me, okay, estas aguas, estas limpias, you have to shower in this. And it's scary, especially because it was affecting my daughter. Like, not only are you trying to get at me, you're affecting my kid and my house.
Right.
And one thing I don't play with my babies.
Right.
I don't play about my kids. Whatever you want to do to me, go ahead.
Yeah.
Te la regreso. Te tumbo la mesa and let it go back to you. I don't even care.
Right.
But don't play with my baby. And that's when I was like, okay. That's when it got really real for me, was in that situation where I felt because of women who are jealous or bitter, whatever. You want him, baby, you can have him. That's why I was like, it's not even worth it for me. You want to play with that dark stuff, go ahead. But it wasn't worth it for me to, like, you can have him. I don't even care.
Yeah,
just leave me and my kid alone.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So after you did that limpia, did you see a change?
Yeah, because she was coming out with like bumps and stuff, like out of nowhere.
Wow.
So it did, like her showering in it, and I was showering in the soaps and the waters that they give you.
Yeah.
Big difference. And then little by little, it was like, me tenía que alejar de él, but I was so not even in love. It was more of like, I'm a empath, I guess you would say, that I really wanted to help him. He was fighting his own demons, and I was trying to help him, and I couldn't.
Right.
Because it was like him or my daughter, and I was trying to have both and help him and have... it was just really, really hard to try to save him and trying to save my family that I wanted then.
Right.
It was intense.
Yeah, and the thing is that a lot of the people that, for instance, people that you want to help out at times, they already know the answers, right? But they're not at that stage in their life. They have to almost hit a breaking point in order for them to want change in their lives, right?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter how many times you tell them over and over, nothing is going to help them until they finally until it finally makes sense to them, or until something really, really bad happens.
Oh, and really, really bad stuff happened to him, and he just wasn't getting it. It was like trying to shake somebody, like, hey, like, you're gonna die. Like, I need you to get your shit together. Like, not for nobody, but for you have a daughter. That was my thing. You have a daughter, please. Like, you've already lived this life. Why are you doing this to my baby?
Right. So would you say that was one of the first instances that you dealt with, I guess, something spiritual? Like something that affected you personally?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Personally, yes.
Okay. And ever since then, you've been continue doing your spiritual guide, things like that? Mm-hmm. Did anybody else mention, hey, you know what, somebody's trying to attack you spiritually, or only that one padrino?
No, I had one guy in National City. It was a new guy that I went because the padrino, I don't know what happened. His shop closed down. It was in National City too.
Okay.
Just disappeared. We couldn't, there's no way of reaching him. So I found somebody
crazy.
else. I know my mom was so bummed. We were bummed because we went with him for years.
Yeah.
So we went to this new guy, and he's like those crazy guy that echa las cartas, and he talks really fucking fast, and he's like, y que te mama esto, que like talks like vulgar también, cuando echa las cartas.
Yeah.
He was really cool.
Yeah.
But he was just more him saying of like my family, like generations. He's like, el diablo los quiere ver a tu familia jodidos. Because of so much stuff that has happened in my family, it almost feels like a family curse.
Wow.
So that like really like clicked in me, and I was like, what can I do to prevent this stuff that continues to happening to the men and the women in our family, so it doesn't happen to my daughters.
Right.
And he's like, protégela. I mean, the most he could tell, he's like, there's really nothing you can do other than echar ojo, be careful who you leave your kids with. And you're trying to do that, but sometimes stuff happens and It's out of our control.
Yeah.
And that's what drives me freaking crazy, is like when stuff is out of my control.
Yeah, that you can't physically.
Yeah. If I could, I'd keep my kids in a freaking bubble. Like, you're not going to go outside, keep them from the world. Because the world is a scary place.
Yeah, it really is.
It's so... I remember when I was pregnant with my daughter, I was crying. Not from happiness, but crying because I was so scared. I was like, ¿Cómo la voy a proteger? Yeah, people are scared of demons and scared of, like, dark stuff, but you should be scared more of humans. For me personally, they're scarier.
Right.
Because that's more physical than it is spiritual. Spiritual, you can, hay una limpia, agarra el huevo, el cilantro, whatever you gotta do to get it cleansed. But it's different when humans are scary for me. Because I've lived it. I know what it's like. Yeah. And when you're young, you know, people try to take advantage of that. From a kid's innocence, you know? Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, that's true. That I've heard that a lot because children's pretty much energy, it's pure, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's crazy. Like I know there's so many different things out there when it comes down to the spiritual realm, right? Yes. And you really have to be careful on even somebody through social media that might not like you personally, just by them just seeing you and just putting that energy towards it can impact you big time. It
does.
We actually received a message through ayahuasca that we should be getting constant limpias.
Yes.
Because they told us, hey, you know what, just since, you know, you guys are going to be more on screen more often, make sure that you're always doing limpias, you know, always. So that was one of the messages that we got.
That's so important. Yeah. I think everybody should be doing that. Just being around anybody's energy, presence, photos you post. That's sometimes all it freaking takes is mal ojo, you know?
Yeah. So till this day, you're still going with your spiritual guides and all that?
Yeah. I just talked to her last week.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Because I was like, I need some advice. Like, I'm really, like, over my job. I'm, like, stuck in trying to figure out what I want to do. I have so many things I want to do entrepreneur-wise, but I feel stuck because I was like, how do I make time from working, get home, cooking, picking up, taking care of the kids? By the time I'm like, I don't want to do nothing. I just want to go to bed. Yeah. How do I find time? Make time. Right. And she's like, you got to, and then she tells like, okay, I see you have creative ideas. Like, you know, I see you want to do like candles and stuff. And I was like, I do. I just bought all the stuff to start that. I just haven't made time for it. Yeah.
I wonder what drives you into, I feel like you're very driven into the whole spiritual realm, maybe because you were kind of like accustomed to when you were such a little girl, right? Mm-hmm. But I wonder if you have any gifts, like maybe you yourself. Have they told you anything like that by any chance?
Just her saying that my intuitiveness is super high. She's like, you can read somebody. Like, I can come in a room and I like you, I don't know. She's like, and then like, I can predict stuff before it happens, kind of. Okay. Like, I was going through some stuff, and then I was like, I would have dreams. I have dreams, and I was like, hey, güey, lo soñé en tu casa, güey. Y dijo, estás pendeja. Así decía. No, estás loca. And then we go to her house, like, whatever. So we go to her house, and somebody had been in her house, and then they told her, hey, such and such was in your house while you were gone this whole time. What? Because she was going through stuff. Right. But I'm, I guess, spiritually connected because you're in my presence, right? Now I feel your energy, I feel your vibe, and then I take it home with me. Even if, like, I see a little cut on you, and then I'll be like I feel it. Yeah. It's weird. Wow. So she told me your intuitiveness, she's like, super high.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Well, what's the energy you get from me and Chilo?
I love it. That's why I was like, I'm going to bring flowers. Because I can just see it from the screen. You guys have good energy, and you can see that it's genuine, it's love. Yeah. So I was like, hey, I brought flowers. I was like, hey, I'm going to give you your flowers, both of you guys, for everything you're doing, because it's real. It's genuine. And I love that because you guys also respond to your viewers, you know? Yeah, and I really meant that comment when I said, hey, you giving me that referral really changed my freaking life, because it's something I wanted to do, but it's like you have to know. So I don't want to go to Peru and be on a 7th day in the middle of nowhere. Right. What if I don't come back?
Yeah, it's scary.
That's scary. So I was like, everything happened when it was supposed to happen. Wow. I feel.
Man, do you mind if we dive into that?
Yeah,
let's get it started.
Let's get it in.
Ready? Welcome to Hoy No Más Podcast with Angel Houseman.
All right. Well, first and foremost, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being brave. Thank you for being vulnerable, for, telling me a little bit of your experience, how it went, and just by being here. I know it's hard, not only to wanting to do ayahuasca and try to like heal past traumas, but to just, speak on it a little bit more so more and more people are aware that plant medicine is real and it can heal and help a lot of people in different many ways.
Say it for the people in the back, because whoever does not believe in ayahuasca and is really just continuing to live life and not wanting to heal yourself, because, not everybody has the same background, but everybody has some stuff they need to heal from,
Yeah.
Just get deep within. And this, like I told those group of girls I'm bringing with me to the next ceremony, I'm like, what I got in one night is probably what you get 10 years in therapy, like real shit.
Yeah.
And I told that to the shaman. I'm like, for real, like stuff that you can't even like think of, like, why did I feel that way, or why did I go through that? It's amazing. Do it if you think like, yeah, I can do it. If you like, for real, do it.
Yeah. I wonder if Ricardo knows that a few people have gone because of me.
He better give you a discount. Shit. Because I told him when he told me, who referred you? I was like, Angel. He's like, Angel. I was like, he does a podcast. I was like, he was talking about experience, and I asked him for information. He's like, okay.
Okay.
But hopefully he better give me a discount when I go.
Because I know, what's his name? Ryan went. I know. Darcy, but I think she went on her own. Yeah. A few people that have come with us, they've gone to Ricardo. So I actually want to do a podcast
with him. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, you gotta bring him in.
I want to, but I don't know if he would want to expose himself.
That's what I was thinking too, because I was like, this is how I heard him. I was like, I was gonna send one of your clips.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't know how comfortable he felt. Like, hey, is this legal in the U.S.?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And the legality of it.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what's crazy? That we're worried is illegal when this is freaking, it's medicine.
It's a freaking plant.
Right. It's so insane that we have to be worried about whether if it's legal or not, but it's literally curing people.
Yes.
It's insane. But yet again, you can go down the street, get all these narcotics, which is like, your over-the-counter medicine that, they're supposed to cure you, but at the same time, they give you other effects,
Big pharma, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Big pharma.
Exactly. And that's one of the main reasons why I like to preach that in this podcast, and you being brave enough to come here, because the more people that are aware of this, the better.
It is. And it's local, so why not? You don't have to travel to a whole other country to do it.
Exactly.
When you can get it here, it's inexpensive, and it's a couple hours of your time.
Yeah.
What do you lose from a couple hours of your time? Whether you believe it or not. You like to get high, you like to get drunk, go do some ayahuasca.
Yeah. But don't think of it as nothing recreational.
No.
Because it's not.
No.
Yeah.
But it is, you're outside of yourself, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by like, because I don't smoke weed. I don't like to drink like that.
Yeah.
I'll drink if I'm with my family, but I don't like to drink like that. So I was more scared of what my reaction was going to be under it, because I don't even react good on the weed.
Yeah.
So I'd be like that chicken coop with Smokey on Friday. That's me, like all paranoid. Like,
yeah.
So I can't, it was scary for me more in that sense.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I just wanted to clarify that. So if you ever think of doing ayahuasca, it's something that you have to really take serious, because you have to, I'm not sure if you did it, but you have to diet for 2 weeks.
You have to fast.
Yeah, you have to fast, not eating any red meats, staying away from sugars, from alcohol, even from social media if you can. Why? Because you want to purify yourself.
Yeah, in order for it to do its work.
Yeah, exactly.
I just found out he just gave me the list for this week, and he's like, obviously no caffeine, which he didn't tell me before, no caffeine. And then he said no sex. And I was like, you didn't say that last time. You could have said that. Yeah, no. Then my ceremony would have been as intense as it probably was if you would have told me the whole list.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's almost relatable to when it comes down to, I feel like everything is connected, right? But for instance, when, not sure if you're familiar with like milagros, when miracles happen, right?
Yes.
When people really want a miracle to happen, a lot of people start fasting, right?
Yes.
They fast, and at times they do mass prayers. And the reason why the prayer or this miracle ends up happening is why? Because since people fasted for so many days, they haven't eaten or they haven't drank a lot of water than what they normally would do. So the connection between God and themselves, or the higher power, it's more stronger. But why? Because since you've been fasting, you're eliminating the flesh, and all that's left is the spirit. So you're more connected. So that's a similar aspect to when you do ayahuasca. You're fasting, right? So you're more connected to the spiritual realm.
Yeah. It's like you're cleansing yourself from all the toxins that we've been putting in our body.
Exactly. Like everything we freaking eat is artificial.
Everything.
Candies, all these foods from fast food restaurants, everything.
Yeah. Not saying I'm going to stop eating it, but yes, I agree.
Let me ask you why not stop?
It's not that I don't want to stop. It's just really hard. I did I did it for the ayahuasca, and after that, I didn't eat any meats, anything for the 2 weeks after, because my body me daba asco. Yeah. Because I already had purged myself. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, a burrito sounds good. Today is the day. Yeah. Today's the day. Can I get my burrito with the carne dorada, please?
Yeah. And trust me, I feel the same way. It's a constant battle.
Yes. And in our culture, you know, you go around, you're going to see some tacos.
Yeah, like right now we have a whole bunch of like candies from Halloween, and it's so hard. It's honestly, they even say that they companies hire freaking scientists to make all these foods addictive for you, you know?
No, yes.
So it's hard. I definitely feel you on that. It's I eventually want to become either vegetarian or vegan, or just at least cut down on the meats and chicken and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, because my partner, he's really into like fasting. He's like fasting right now. I'm like, I don't know how you do it, but more power to you, because I can't. He's like, just make me some vegetables on the side.
Nice.
I was like, I guess.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Why, or what was going on in that point of time that you said, I have to do ayahuasca now? Like now, were you going to a specific breaking point in your life?
Yes, I felt.
You don't have to go into detail, right? Yeah. Because if it's too personal, just whatever you want to share.
Yeah. I just felt like a zombie. Like I felt like I felt dead inside. Like I felt depressed. I was like, had a baby. I felt like so insecure with my body, and I was having problems in my relationship. And I felt like I was also getting angry for every little thing. Like you couldn't even be around me. And then I was like taking it out on my kids. I'm like, leave me alone. And then it almost like, that was probably much harder for me, was because my daughter was like, Mom, why are you being so mean? Wow. And that's real. And this is really hard for me to say this, you know? Yeah. But my baby, she's like, Mom, like, what's wrong? And my daughter went through a lot of the bad stuff that I went through in my first relationship with her dad. Wow. So she seen a lot of stuff that she shouldn't have to have seen, you know? Yeah. So for me to be in a space where I felt like, I don't know if I was depressed, postpartum, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what it was. I just know that I wasn't myself. And I felt like if I don't fix it now, I don't want my kids to have some type of resentment towards me or grow up the way I did, you know? Yeah. How am I any different? If I said when I have my girls, I have to do better. I have to be different.
That's beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, that's, man, I think that's everyone's goal. So that, at least the majority, right? I think if we're ever blessed to have kids, I think that's pretty much our goal as well, right? We want the best for our next generation. And man, that's deep. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, of course. And it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's like I say, my first daughter was probably like a trial run, because my second baby, I know what I want to do different than what I did with my first daughter. Yeah. You know, and it sucks. It really freaking sucks that it had to be that way. Yeah. But I was also young. I was in a messed up relationship, toxic, and I didn't know. No, I knew better. I'm not going to lie. I knew better, but I being the person that I am, like I don't give up. Like I want to help everybody. Like I want to help everybody. But in that sense, I was draining myself. This is what ayahuasca was for me, was that I was helping everybody, and that's what was affecting me. I was helping family here, friends here, work here, and then I was mentally drained. Like I wasn't even making time for my family, but here I am making time for everybody to help them. You need a ride, you need this, oh, I need to go do this, I need to go it was like personal family stuff, that shit that is not even my problem. But here I am trying to fix everybody else's problems, and I wasn't fixing my problems.
Gotcha. So you feel like that was, I guess, one of the biggest breaking points, because you were you started seeing patterns of you that you didn't like anymore.
Yeah, I was tired. I'm tired of helping everybody. I'm helping everybody, and I'm not helping myself.
Right.
So I'm not good for me, and I'm not good for my family.
Right. Oh, that's crazy. So when you saw, you said you watched a little bit of Will Smith, I guess his experience in other videos. You saw that a lot of people go to Peru to do all of this. And then you ended up, you saw the podcast, or you saw the reels out of the...
Yes.
And then what caught your attention?
Chelos.
Which
about
one?
her miscarriage. Because I've had my own miscarriage. So when she was speaking about her story, I mean, I'm more of a deep thinker. I'm not just listening to her story. I'm thinking about the message behind your story, right? About the little man and holding the baby, and you have to hand it back. You felt that, right? You felt like that little bit of a moment of being a mom, not let it go, in that sense of moment. That's what I took the message as, right? Because I've had my own. So I was like, that makes sense, you know? So listening to her message was relatable, because I'm like, okay, it's not literal, right? You're listening to the message behind what you're seeing.
Right.
And that's what, really was like, oh, I even cried a little bit when I heard her story.
Yeah, you know what? That was Chelo's clip was one of the first clips that went kind of semi-viral, at least for us in TikTok. Got like 130,000 views or something, and she received so many comments. And for us, I even see it almost as a gift, or as a message that, that story, that experience, it's not going to be, no se va a quedar en vano, pues.
No.
Because we're here to spread the message, and we want to make sure that other people get to experience things like that when it comes down to healing, right? And it's crazy how life works, so that it was that post itself that took off, and look, because of that post, you ended up doing ayahuasca, and you got healing yourself.
Yeah, I think the most important thing when you watch, what people that watch, is being relatable. And she was, in that moment, as a woman, it's relatable. Right. And that can touch anybody's heart. It's like, it's relatable, and you hurt for her through the screen, you know? Right. I know what that feels like. And everything, I do strongly believe in everything happens for a reason. Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to accept at that moment in time, why? Right. Why?
There you go. So you watched the video, and is that when you decided to reach out?
Yeah, I think I reached out right after I seen that video.
Okay. You're like, you know what? I have to try it.
Yeah.
Did you watch the whole podcast, or just a little clip?
I watched that one, and then I think a couple of the reels about when she said that she saw your dad in the ceremony, and then there was one with you where you were tearing up when she was talking about it. There was a couple of them, but it was a couple months ago, so I can't remember.
No worries.
I can barely remember what I did today.
Trust me, I'm the same way. Yeah, so you reached out, I gave you the number, gave you the contact.
It took you a week to send it to me. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
You're like, I'll give it to you. Then a week passed, I was like, hey. I know you got busy, that's why you told me.
Yeah, I got busy, but also, you know what? I'm very cautious to who I give, especially that type of information, right? Because you never know
whose intention.
Yes. There's some people that might want that information just to try it recreational. There's might be some people that don't like that type of medicine to be,
and they try to burn them.
Yeah, exactly. No, so I was very cautious, but I saw that you were pretty genuine, right? So I decided to, you know what, pass it over to you, and you actually followed through, and that was intense.
Did you go on my page and be like, okay, she got 3 kids. She probably really need this. I'm going to give her the number. She really need it.
Yeah. Okay, so it took me a week. Give you the contact. Right away, you contact the shaman?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Did he respond pretty soon or not?
I think towards the end of the day, because I know he runs ceremonies after talking with him after a while.
Yeah.
He runs ceremonies every day. So
that's intense, right?
Who does that?
Yeah.
Who? And like, I remember him explaining to me that he takes it because he has to be connected with you while you're doing your ceremony. I'm like, I don't know how you do it, but clearly you don't get paid enough because what you charge is not a lot.
It's not. It's not.
But it's intense. But I mean, more power to him for being dedicated to something so that's bigger than us.
Big time.
It's bigger than us.
Yeah, big time.
More power to him because I don't know how he does it.
Yeah.
Pobrecito. I put them through hell that night.
Really?
Yes, it was super.
Okay, let's talk about that. So you go there, they give you kind of like they give you the spill, right?
Yeah.
So they tell you, hey, you know what? If you experience this, if this happens, then let us know. Make sure you're doing this. Remember to breathe. If you need to use a restroom, so on and so forth, right? Mm-hmm. So when it's time to actually finally take the medicine, the brew, how long did it take for you to feel the effects in you?
At first I thought it wasn't him. I was like laying down and I was like, oh, it hasn't hit me yet. I don't know how the hell I ended up outside.
What?
But I ended up outside. And so the first thing I can remember, because it took me a couple days to remember everything that I went through that night. Because
wow. So you didn't remember everything right away?
No. It took me a couple days because I was such an emotional mess that I was crying like a whole week. And then little clips started coming up to me. And it did say that, like, sometimes you won't remember everything and stuff will come back to you.
Wow.
The first thing... Well, let me start by saying when she was explaining to me the process.
Yeah.
So everybody knows when you walk in, it's not like it's scary. Like when you first walk in, you feel the good energy. You smell the Palo Santo. You smell the sage.
Yeah.
And they hug you. So it's beautiful. You're not walking in and, hey, go sit there and let me tell you what to do. I want to let everybody know that. They're very welcoming. And then you feel the good energy. And then as soon as his wife started talking to me, I started crying.
Wow.
But because I already felt when she was like, this is what you're probably going to do. And I just felt this hit of wave just like, and I just started crying, like tearing up. And she's like, I already know this is going to probably be hard for you. Because she's also a chakra healer.
Yes.
So she probably already knew when she walked in, oh, this girl got demons she needs to fight. She's going to need a little extra help.
Yeah.
So she explains to me the process. And then I go lay down on the little cotton mat with my bucket and waters. And
how many people were there approximately?
At least 9.
Okay.
It was a lot of people.
Okay.
And everybody already knew each other there because I guess they've been doing it for years.
Yeah, he has a lot of people that go back to him.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so as soon as I take it, it's disgusting. Mm-hmm. So you guys know.
It tastes like mud, right? Something like that?
I don't know what it tastes like. It don't taste good.
Yeah.
But it's very like a micro shot. It's very small.
Yeah.
So I guess some other people needed like boosts after that. Did you see that?
I take 2.
Oh, so you're crazy.
Yeah.
I can't do that. But I seen some people doing that. So as soon as I took it, it took a minute to hit me.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I felt like, okay, I think I need to pee. And then I'm like walking and it's dark. I don't know. That's all I remember. After that, I was like, and then it feels like my eyes are closed and I'm looking up. I'm assuming at the freaking sun. And I went back to a place where my aunt used to live in some apartments, and this is where we used to play cuando estaba chiquita.
All of this is happening after you went to the restroom.
I don't even know if I went to the restroom. I don't think I did.
Okay.
I just remember getting up and felt like I needed to go to the bathroom.
And then all of a sudden you're experiencing this.
Yes.
Okay.
Like a full on memory. I don't know. My eyes, I really don't know.
Wow.
I just remember like looking up. This is a memory because this really was a memory of me being little because I've had dreams about it. Was me looking up at the sky, mirando el sol, and in the grass, right? I'm looking up at it, and then I just hear yelling, Isabel, métete al carro. And that feeling of like, oh, fuck. They're yelling. I don't want to go home. And this is me like 4 or 5 years old. Ya sentía el sentimiento. That's the message I was getting behind it. That feeling of, I don't want to go home, I'm scared kind of feeling. You know what I'm saying? So then I just see me being in the car and just watching the car go past by fences and all kinds of stuff. And then I'm assuming, I don't know if my eyes were closed or open, but I see Ricardo, the shaman, lifting me up. And I'm looking at him and he's fucking scared. Like his face is scared. And I'm looking at him and he's like, I'm screaming, I guess. And I'm like, and then I pause, like I fucking weirdo that I was, I guess. I pause and I'm like, why are you scared? Why are you? And he's dragging me because I couldn't, I guess, lift myself.
Right.
And I was outside. So I don't know if I was doing a whole fucking pancho outside
Right.
with all the neighbors scaring the shit out of people. Yeah. And he's like lifting me. And I'm hefty, so I feel bad. He had to carry me. And I'm looking at him like, oh, why are you scared? Like I went back to a mentality of talking like a little girl. I was talking like a little, why are you scared? He's like, I'm not scared. But I could tell by his face he was fucking scared.
Wow.
And then I guess in the process of him trying to put me in the house, not back in the room, but in the house, I guess he said that I tried to choke his wife. What? At that point. Yeah, it was like a freaking exorcism. I didn't see nobody else up in that room running out, acting crazy like I was. But I did. So I guess I tried to choke his wife, and then I that's what he told me. And he's like, don't touch, relax. And I was yelling, saying, I want to go home. I want my mommy, please. I want my mommy. And then she's like, I need you to relax. Calm down. I want my mom. And I want my mom, please. I want my mom. And then his wife is trying to calm me down. She's like, ¿Por qué quieres tu mamá? What do you want? I just want my mommy, please. I want to go home. Please, I want my mommy. She's like, I need you to relax because you're scaring my kids, please. But it was just, I didn't know how to stop, if that makes sense. I didn't know how to like calm myself down. So she's trying to relax me. And she's like, I need you to calm down. And I kept saying it. I want my mommy. Please let me go home. I want to go home. And she's like, remember, Isabel, you told me that this is what you wanted. Now do it. Tú querías esto. Ahora aguántate. She was telling me because I told her before I did the sermon, I was like, if I don't know how I'm going to react, just please remind me that this is what I wanted. You said you wanted to do this, now do it. And then she reminded me, I was like, okay, but I want to go home, please. I want to go home. She's like, no, you wanted it. You have to go through it. She's like, you need to surrender. And I was fucking fighting it. And I'm trying, but I'm fighting it. I really said, I was like, I'm going to surrender. And I didn't in the beginning. So then she takes me to the bathroom because I felt like I couldn't breathe. I know this sounds fucking crazy, but I start rolling on the floor in the bathroom like I felt like I needed to take whatever I had on me. I was like, help me, please, just help me. And I'm rolling on the floor, and I guess I was hitting myself. And she's like, relax, you're hitting yourself. She's like, I was like, I'm sorry. And I guess I kept hitting myself. I was rolling on the floor. And then I guess she tells me, what's going on? I was like, Mom. And then I'm trying to remember because it was so much. I think I ended up in a corner in the bathroom, and she's like yelling Ricardo's name to come help her because I wasn't calming down. And then she's like, all right, he's going to touch you, okay? I was like, okay, just please help me. Take it out of me. I was like, please help me. And I was like, please help me. And then I just feel him going and like putting his hands like this on my body and just going and spitting it out. What? Like this, spitting it out. And I just felt my body going like, it was like a fucking, remember I told you it was like an exorcism. It felt, whatever lo que me estaba sacando, I felt it leaving my body. Wow. I felt it, and I could see him, and he's like blowing smoke around me. Like, I don't know what he did, but after he did that, I calmed down a little bit, and then I was able to surrender. Wow. I don't know how long it took for him to do that, but it was a full-on, like in the corner, like, please help me. And then rolling on the floor, take it out. No, I don't want to. I want to go home. Like, wow. I don't know if you have any questions for that first phase.
That's intense.
Yeah.
So, like for me, this is a story I've never really heard before, right? Mm-hmm. And part of me is like, oh man, your story is gonna scare people away.
Yes.
But it's the reality of things.
It's
right?
my trauma.
Yes.
I want to explain that. Not everybody, like I said, the story is different. I had a lot of trauma as a kid growing up, and it was stuff that I guess I thought I was over. And hey, I literally stand by in my life is forgiving people. I don't care how much you freaking hurt me. I don't want to live a life where I let what people did to me dictate my life, if that makes sense. And I really live by that. Oh, you hurt me? It is what it is. I guess this is what I had to go through. I forgive you. It's not up to me for you to juzgar. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's something you got to take up to with whoever you guys want to believe in, the universe, our gods, whoever it may be. That's not my place. And I'm thankful to my mom that she always taught me that, to always have a forgiving heart, which I have. But I guess I was suppressing those feelings of how I really, really, how much hurt I was holding in.
Yeah.
That's why when my spiritual advisor told me you need to heal your heart because you have so much hurt, I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm over my abuse. I'm over that. Like, what do you mean? Yeah. But I guess I wasn't.
Yeah.
I was full on panic mode over there.
Yeah, and you know what? I like to kind of bring it down to the simplest form, right? At times, somebody makes you mad, right? And you're just like, you hold back that anger, right? Mm-hmm. And all those little instances start adding up down the road, right? And all that anger you held inside because you didn't say like, hey, no, stop. Or you didn't let that out. Mm-hmm. It stays inside of you. And it starts building up over and over. And especially if you have something traumatic and you never healed or whatever, that's even worse, right? Yeah. So similar to your story that you had all these different things, feelings and traumas, you were experiencing that. And you were letting go of that. And like I mentioned, at times it's like, oh man, that's probably your story's probably going to scare a lot of people away. Mm-hmm. But it's okay. Maybe this message is not for them, right?
It's not.
Everybody experiences ayahuasca differently. I never experienced that. Yeah. Chelo never experienced that. There's people that sleep through the whole ceremony because they just needed rest. Right?
And they did.
Yeah. Right? So this is your journey, so I'm glad you're...
everybody's journey is different.
Yeah.
And I was very expressive of that with the people that I've shared my story with, is that my experience is not going to be like yours. Maybe you might see freaking colors and animals like all these other people that are talking about fucking Lisa animals over here. It wasn't me, baby, but it might be something different for you.
Yeah.
But mine was different. This is stuff that, like I said, I really needed to heal my soul, because my soul was affecting everything around me.
Right, your inner circle and all.
And that's, I don't know. If I have one job in this world, and that's to be a freaking good mom. Mm. I want my kids to know that and say it proudly. My mom is amazing. My mom did everything for me. Yeah. And in order for me to do that, I have to heal myself for me to be better for them. You know?
That's beautiful.
Yeah, so.
And honestly, you doing all of this, ayahuasca, trying to heal yourself, that just proves that you really, really, truly want that for your daughters.
And I believe it. I believe in these higher beings. Everything's bigger than us. I believe in it. And I'm going to take whatever I can to help me. Because I grew up in counseling. I did all that. And I thought I was okay. I mean, I'm saying everybody still do counseling, do therapy. Yeah. But I needed something
much deeper, right?
Much deeper and much stronger to help me.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So finally, Ricardo
does an exorcism.
It takes everything out from you. You finally feel like you can relax a little bit. Do you go back and lay down at that point?
No. Okay. So she has me. I'm in the bathroom with his wife still. Okay. And I'm getting all these feelings starting to come up. And then I start, I don't know what, I'm looking at her, right? And I see all these colors around here. But I feel like on the other part of my brain, I'm listening to what Mama Ayahuasca is telling me and showing me. Does that make sense? Yeah. Like I'm looking at you, but I'm also listening and seeing other stuff.
Right.
But when I'm looking at you, I see you. I see your colors. I feel your vibrations. I'm like touching her legs. I'm touching her chest. I'm like, okay? Yeah. And she's telling me, and then I grab her legs, and I start going like this. I was like, Mommy, please don't leave me. Don't leave me with him, please, please. And I'm like, it was a moment that I went back to crying to my mom. Please, Mommy, por favor, Mami, no me dejes con él. And it was a moment, I guess, that I had remembered. I don't know if it was because I had just talked to my aunt a months ago about a situation, and she had told me, hey, do you remember this time when you were crying for us to not leave, and you said, oh, don't leave me? And she's like, I'm really sorry that we left you, because if I would have known, then we would have never left you. And I was, and in that moment, that's what I felt. You know what I'm saying? I felt that moment where I was like, and I was crying to her, and then I could see the shaman's wife, her eyes start to tear up. Wow. But I had no control over what I was saying. Right. I was just like, please, Mommy, please, no me dejes, please. And I'm holding on to her legs, and she's like, why? What's going to happen? Please. Yeah. That's all I could say without having to say much words, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Y'all can put two and two together. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah. So then I felt, all right, after she's like talking me down through that moment, I feel my ayahuasca telling me, all right, now you feel it, you get it, let it go. Yes. I think that's the most important message when you're doing ayahuasca. You feel this shit at that moment, let it go. Yes. And I let it go at that, and then the next shit she puts me through. Wow. So it was like one after another thing that she kept making me feel. And it's like, okay, I understand. Like, I felt like ya cansada. Then I kept feeling like I was wanted to throw up, and I couldn't throw up. I just kept going, and that's when the shaman's wife, your chakras blocked. Mm-hmm. And I kept saying, lo que callamos las mujeres. And I kept saying that. You don't understand what I told her, tú como mujer entiendes. I'm talking to him like, you know what we as women, what we go through, los que callamos las mujeres. I kept saying that. As women, we go through a lot. And we have to be, as much as we say, oh, our men need to be the providers and they need to be strong. If you really think about it, it's women that like, hey, we got to make sure our men are good. The house is put together. The kids are this. And, hey, whatever he's lacking in, I got to pick up. Like, it's a lot that we hold in and carry as women. It's a lot. Strongly agree. A lot. Yeah. So I felt that. And then she's like talking me through it. Then, she's like asking me what happened, and I'm explaining her to what happened, and I'm talking all over the place and telling her I can't breathe, right? I was like, she's like, what's going on? I was like, I can't breathe, and I felt hands around my neck. But it was another memory from being with my daughter's dad when he would choke me till I would pass out. So that was like another moment that she made me feel, and I kept saying, let me go, let me go. Like I'm looking at her, but I can't control what I'm saying or how I'm feeling. Yeah. So I went back to that moment, and then she was like, all right, let it go. And then it was just one thing after another that she kept telling me, all right, feel it. I was like, I'm just tired. I understand. I understand. Now, please, I want to go home. Mm. And she wouldn't let me. I think the most important thing I got from one of the moments, I guess, during that bathroom incident was when the Mama Ayahuasca showed me la cara de mi hija, ¿verdad? Y nomás así. And then I just seen her face like sad. And then the feeling hit me of how my daughter feels when I shut her down. Mm. And this is real. I'm telling you, this is so hard for me to say. I felt the feeling of my daughter, how she feels when I tell her, leave me alone right now. I'm not having a good day. Mm. And her face was sad. Mm. And I felt her feeling like shut down. Mm. You know, that's really her. It's a messed up feeling to feel. Yeah. For my kid to feel sad. Wow. And I got it. I get it. Yeah. I get it. Yeah. That's what I was telling her. I get it. I got it. And I kept saying, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Wow.
You know, it's crazy that all those little things, right? You may not even look at it as a big deal, but those little words, how much impact. Big time.
And it affects. I mean, I know how words can affect us as kids.
The smallest little thing.
Yeah.
Can stay with a kid forever.
Yeah.
Right? The smallest little thing. Just a small little neglection can affect you the whole life. I till this point, I still feel those little moments when I feel neglected by my mom, let's say, right?
Yeah.
And I'm still trying to heal through that.
Yeah.
So, but I'm so happy and I'm so proud of you for you actually seeking help and trying to heal and become the best version of yourself.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I think this is probably one, if not the only time that I actually hear of somebody trying to become better for their children, and that's beautiful.
Yeah. So
I know it's hard. I know it's hard to live back through those memories, and you maybe thinking that, you know what, I felt her at that moment, but you're only trying to get better for her.
I am. For all my girls, I really. And it's literally just been the last year, I think, after I had my baby, that's when I really felt like in a place where I couldn't just get myself out of this funk. And I was, like I said, I was being mean and for no reason. Just with work, I hate him. That's one thing I brought up too, is like, I'm tired. I kept saying that too, like, I'm tired. I'm tired of having to be strong. I'm tired of having to keep my family together. And I mean in general, not just my family in my house, but my whole family, because I'm looked at in my family as la persona que tiene, es la goma para la familia. You know, I'm the glue to my family. And do you know how high of a standard that is to hold?
Right.
To trying to keep the cousins, the tias, and everybody together, trying to coordinate rights, trying to coordinate that stuff. It's and it sounds small, but I love my fam. I'm a family. I love my family.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I was gonna say the opposite. I was gonna say fuck that. Right.
Yeah.
From my point of view.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
At the end of this is my point of view, right? I have a lot of family, right? But at the end of the day, nobody's looking out for me.
Yeah.
Nobody, right? So my family, to believe it or not, it's Chelo.
Yeah.
Teddy, and her parents have now become my family, right? They're the people that are always looking out for me. So I'm looking out for them. As bad as it may sound, right? But a lot of my family don't really care how I'm doing on a daily basis, right? So fuck that. You know what? I'm not gonna care if so-and-so needs a ride, or because it's happened before that certain family, like cuando se atoran en algo, when they get stuck or something, or they need a favor, they'll reach out out of nowhere without me having even talked to them in years. Oh, Angel, we're wondering if you can, like, what? Like, how are you gonna do it? Like, hey, I can't, you know?
And it's much harder for me to say no. But because, like I said, I'm an empath person. Everybody knows you could call Isabel. Yeah. And whatever, she'll stop what she's freaking doing and help you. And I mean in anything, like in the middle of the night, if I have to go pick up a cousin because she's messed up, take her to rehab, I literally would do that if I had to.
But
then.
Then, right.
Now I'm like, I'm done. Like, I'm done.
You have to look out for yourself.
I have to.
You have to.
I have to.
Especially if you want to be the best version of yourself for
That's all
your
I
children.
care about. That's all and I'm not saying I don't love my kids like I haven't done, because I've busted my ass and I've given my daughters everything that they have.
Right.
My daughters don't know, to this day, don't know what it's like to not have that toy, that clothes. They have their own freaking room with no room in there because all they have is everything that they want in there. Every clothes, every toy, every freaking stuffy. There's a bed that they don't sleep on full of stuffies. Like, they have everything. But I was thinking that, hey, this is my way of maybe showing love, like materialistic stuff, but not being emotionally there like I could be and better.
Right.
And that's where I was fucking up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And now, because you were trying to, like, compensate, right?
Yes.
Instead of, being there maybe, like, as a mother, right? You would try to give them gifts or, to compensate for that, right? Yeah. But now you're seeing it, right?
Yes.
So now it's just like, okay, maybe it's not about gifting as much, but Let's
time.
Exactly.
And
Quality
time is so valuable.
Definitely.
Time. And that's what my kid needed. The oldest one out of me was, I just need your time now. Like, the new baby's here. I'm in a whole other relationship. So it was always just me and her. So this for her was probably like a big change, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Man, so far, I just want to say thank you again. This takes a lot for you coming here talking to two complete strangers, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, but it's not strangers because, like I said, everything happens for a reason, and I felt like, okay. And when you asked me, I was like, ooh, ask me later at the end of the month. Remember I told you?
Yeah.
I was like, because I always had, I was busy all October, but I was like, am I willing to share my story or like a little bit of what I've been through? But again, I seen Chelo's story and I was like, maybe I can be relatable to somebody else. And hey, like, if you've been abused, if you've been in a messed up relationship, if you want to be a better mom, and in order to do that, you have to fix yourself.
Yeah. Because
how are we going to continue to bring these kids into this world and then we're going to mess them up? You can't do that.
Yeah.
Can't do that. So fix yourself. Even if you got kids now or plan on having kids, like, you guys are doing the right thing. You guys are working on yourself.
Yeah.
Spiritually, mentally, emotionally, financially, stability. You have all of that. Yeah. So when you bring your guys' kids into this world, they're gonna have good parents. Yeah. They know. They know, and they will know.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful, beautiful thing to create a life. And you leave something on this earth when you're no longer here, a part of you.
Yeah.
You know?
Definitely.
And I want my kids to be good human beings.
Yeah. And maybe at one point they listen to this story of yours, right? And now it's documented. That way they can really see what all the different things that you went through, because of the love that you have for them.
Yeah.
And all of this, everything that you've been talking about right now is you trying to become better.
Yes.
Trying to become better. And that's a beautiful thing. Who else do you hear that they want to improve themselves, right? In a spiritual way. Not a lot of people.
Yeah.
I hardly ever hear of anybody trying to do that.
And I always said that too. I was like, I'm working on myself. But I felt like I wasn't really working on myself until I did ayahuasca. Because that was a whole other level of working on yourself. Yeah. It was really, really intense. Really hard. If people think giving labor, right, having a childbirth is hard, this was much harder for me to do because I had to face.
You can continue going.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I had to face my demons and face everything I was suppressing. And even then, his wife was really like a great guide throughout my ceremony. Walking me through it and saying, like, fuck everybody else. Basically what she was saying. Fuck everybody else. Like, worry about yourself. Worry about your kids. You and your family. And she made me dig deep into why I am feeling the way I'm feeling. And then I finally came out. I'm not happy.
Yeah.
I wasn't happy, and not in my relationship, not with myself, not with anything. And I was self-sabotaging. Because it was, him too. I'm not just going to take all the blame. But I wasn't. And I'm still working on trying to learn how to be happy. What makes me happy. All I've done is be there for others, please others, and trying to help others and fix others. But I wasn't fixing myself.
And look at my reaction. I was, fuck that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
At the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Why? Because... man, you know what? It's been my experience throughout time that nobody fucking cares.
Nobody cares. Ain't nobody gonna have your back like you got your own back.
Let me ask you this: have you ever watched A Bronx Tale?
Yes.
That's
Love it.
That's my favorite movie.
Love
it. What happens to Sonny, right? The leader of the whole clique. What happens when he passes away and people are at the funeral? Do you remember by any chance? So everybody's taking flowers, right?
Yeah.
And do you remember what's going on in the funeral home?
Weren't they trying to figure out who was the next?
No, they were just like taking flowers for just like to pretty much to show that they dropped off the biggest like arrangement of flowers, right?
Yes.
And they were all just like mingling.
Mine's bigger, yeah.
Yeah, and they were mingling to kind of like do business deals or whatnot.
Yeah.
But the
At
message,
his own funeral.
yeah, at his own funeral. But at the end of the day, the message, the kid was the one that stayed behind. And that's when you realize who was there sincerely for him, right? Rather than just to be there and just talking with everybody else. So the message behind that was that nobody fucking cares. You know, at the end of the day, nobody cares. And at times we're so careful. We're so concerned about what other people are going to be thinking about ourselves that we stop ourselves from being our true selves. So ever since I saw the movie and my way of thinking is just like, fuck that. You know what? I'm going to be me. I'm going to, you know what, make mistakes throughout my life. But so what? Well, because after we pass away, after freaking years go by, nobody's going to remember who we are. So just live your life, you know?
Yeah.
And look out for yourself and your inner circle.
Yeah. No, that is true.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It is tough. That's why I was like, I need to bring your flowers. That's why it's important. Because
Thank you.
when people die, right, especially men, they only give them flowers when they pass away. And my partner really told me that. He's like, I want some flowers. And I was like,
Knock on wood.
right? Knock on wood.
Yeah, I got flowers. I ain't passing them.
No, I'm just speaking through the message behind it. He's like, I want some flowers. And I looked at him, right, like the Mexican culture. ¿Para qué quieres flores, güey?
Yeah.
And he's like, you only give them to us when we pass away.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's a good point. So now I get him flowers every other month.
Chelo, where my flowers at?
Yeah, because it just shows appreciation. Like, hey, I thought about you. Here's some flowers. And it's not like a gender thing. It's just, hey, I love you. I appreciate you.
Right.
Here's some flowers.
Yeah.
Just how we like it. I love flowers. He might like flowers too.
Yeah, exactly. No, definitely.
So Cello, get him some flowers.
Yeah. So after the whole bathroom incident and you felt like you were getting choked, right? You were able to pass through that, and then you finally went back to lay down, or no?
No.
Okay.
We're still going through the process of her trying to walk me through all the things. So then I was feeling the thing about my daughter, and I was like, saying,
You saw your daughter's face.
Yeah, I kept saying I was sorry, and then she's like, you just gotta do better, and be there for your family. And then I felt there was another moment where I just felt like issues in my relationship, and that's when I was telling her, like, I'm just not happy. Like, I'm not happy. And then she's like, and I was like, I don't know why, in general, right, why I continue to settle for less if I know what I can bring to the table. You know what I'm saying? I know what I can bring to the table, so why do I feel like I have to fix everybody and help everybody? And I was hating myself, I guess, again at that time, and I kept saying, I'm sorry. And then just the message I got behind that was that I'm like beating myself up over stuff that's outside of my control. And some of that stuff was kind of my fault because I knew better and I know better. Then after I finally calmed down, I guess I had peed myself and I didn't realize. And then she, poor Shama's wife, she had to help me undress myself and lend me some clothes.
Wow.
And that was super uncomfortable. And I kept saying, I'm sorry. She's like, you say I'm sorry too much. She's like, it's fine. She's like, you need to stop apologizing for being you. And I was like, oh, I do say I'm sorry a lot. Like, it could be the smallest, oh, I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Like, I'm that type of, I'm sorry.
Fuck that.
Fuck that again.
I think that's going to be the message, man.
Yeah. Be more like Angel. That's the message. Don't be like Isabel. So then she helps me change. And then I go back to lay down. I'm assuming hours had passed by after that whole full-on exorcism in the restroom. The music really intensifies. Yeah. It hit me in the bathroom, but it hit me more. In the room, I'm laying down and he's playing whatever music he's playing. Then you go, and you just feel it. And I'm like laying down. I see the guy next to me, and it's like demonic being, his body just starts cracking. It was weird. This is what I'm seeing. Not saying that's what was happening. This is what I'm seeing.
Wow. That's
His
crazy.
body is like moving in places, and I just hear somebody go, like, and I was like, I'm scared, but I know I shouldn't be scared, but I'm scared because I know that the message behind it that I get is that these are things that are leaving me.
Wow.
Right? I'm seeing dark stuff, and I'm seeing it, and I can hear the sounds like weird. Like I kept hearing the fucking click. You know, like that movie Hereditary.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear like, and I just feel my body just like I'm laying on my stomach, because I felt like if I laid on my back, I'd be more scared.
Right.
I was really scared. Like I was scared. Yeah. So I'm laying on my stomach, and I really couldn't feel like I could move. And I just feel like in my ear, and I'm looking to the side, and I hear that guy going, and then his whole body is moving. I blame the freaking music that he was playing, because it was intensifying it.
Yeah.
And then I'm like telling my Ayahuasca, because I can hear her now telling me, she's like, be present, breathe. And I just kept going. She's like, breathe. I was like, I want to go home.
Yeah.
She's like, breathe. She's like, be present. And I'm getting the message, but I kept fighting it. Wow. Right? I want to go home, please. I want to go home to my kids. In my head, I want to go home to my kids, please. And I was like, I'm never doing this again. Right? Yeah. I'm telling myself that. And then the girl that was laying next to me, like the second row, she starts singing out of nowhere. So then that helped me calm down a little bit, because then the shaman turned off the music, and then she started singing this beautiful song. I'm assuming about Guadalupe. It was a song. Okay. And it was so beautiful, and you just feel like I was just like this, just into whatever song she was singing. And then I start seeing, he starts playing, I don't know if you guys know who, is it Kathy or Cari Garcia? No. Confieso. There's a song called Confieso that he started playing, and I know that song by heart. It's one of my favorite songs. He started playing it, and I'm laying now on my back, and I'm looking now, I'm seeing all these colors pop up, and I feel happy. Wow. Right? All the terror shit that I felt, finally I'm at a moment in time where I'm just like happy. And I felt like just dancing. I don't know if I danced, right? I don't know if I got up and started fucking being weird. Yeah. But I was feeling like, it was good. I felt like, it's like the 70s show when the lights are like that. Yeah. Or if you're falling and you're just like, that's what it felt like. Right. And I was just happy. Nice. It was such a beautiful moment at the end. And then I got up because I was already throwing up. I was purging. I was finally throwing up.
Okay, so you actually purged. Okay.
Yes, I was throwing up at that time. I was throwing up. Then I felt like, okay, I need to get the fuck out of here, because this music is not going to let me rest. I need to like chill out. Mm-hmm. And I need to get out of this. I get it. Leave me alone. I walk outside, and if you guys have done ayahuasca, do you guys remember how the lights and everything was super freaking bright? Like anything you looked at?
Yeah, I feel like because everything intensifies.
Yeah, so everything was super bright. Mm-hmm. So I'm sitting on his bench that he has in the front. Yeah. And then one of the gentlemen that was laying next to me, he was like older, like had to be like in his 60s. He came out crying, and then he's like, he's a talker. So he started talking to me and telling me about what he saw. And he's like, I just, my mom, and it was crazy, right? He's talking about his mom. Then he says, my mom never hugged me or told me she loved me. And that mommy in me kicked in, and I was like, is it okay if I hug you? He's like, yeah. And I hugged him, and he just started crying on my shoulder. And I tell my kids I love them every day, and I can't imagine ever them thinking I don't love them. So I'm sorry you went through that, and I love you. I gave him a hug. But it's just little things like that really like, it was really, it's a grown man, right? Like in his 60s, and he's barely healing through his trauma and his own mom. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It was just a message. I tell my kids I love them every day. I tuck them in at night. I do all of that. But that was different. I was like, it's a message about, hey, like, for me, right? Like this, he came here for a reason. You're laying next to me for a reason. You're the one that I saw that was fucking moving like a demon next to me. It was for a reason.
Yeah, there's no mistakes.
No, there's no coincidences.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely.
None. So you were laying next to me for a reason. You're crying on my shoulder for a reason. Hey, I love you. And, just continue on your healing journey. And I guess he's been going there for like 2 years.
Wow, 2 years.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
How much ayahuasca do you think I will need after this?
Damn.
I'm like, and then the shaman told me, he's like, you're going to need a lot after this. He even texted me. He's like, my wife runs these women groups and I think you'd really benefit from it. I was like, yeah, just let me know. I would really like to do that.
Wow,
I was like, ayahuasca, I'll take a break from for a little bit. Mm-hmm. But I would do the women's groups. Just do whatever you need to do to me. Yeah. Just help me.
Wow. That's crazy. I didn't even know that she did that.
Yeah. So that's probably because you didn't need that much help.
Yeah. You know what? For me, the first ceremony was I saw a lot. I received so many messages, right?
Yeah.
I saw like sacred geometry, all those different figures, everything beautiful. And then the 2 last ones were very physical. Like I perched a lot. And one of them, Chelo, saw like me dying, but I guess supposedly the older version of myself was dying, and I was, I guess, becoming another version of myself. I was becoming somebody else, so I had to die in order for me to become that version, right?
Yes.
But it was very, very physical that I just threw up a lot. Like once I got home, I continued throwing up, so I was just like,
wow,
I want to do ayahuasca again, but I'm just like, I'm scared to do it because it was so intense. Like I literally just wouldn't stop throwing up.
And we can relate on that.
Yeah.
I tell you, I cried for a whole week. When I didn't even drive home. I had to tell my partner to come pick me up, and he had the kids in the car. Yeah. My kids were sleeping. It was like 12 o'clock, and I was like crying. I love you so much. Yeah. They're like, what's wrong with you, Mom? Yeah. You're being weird. Yeah. I just love you, baby, and I'm sorry. That's all. Doesn't even matter what. I'm sorry, and I love you. Yeah. I love you. And I cried every day for a whole week, just crying. I just felt all my emotions. I didn't even want to go to sleep because I felt when I would go to sleep, I was seeing Mama Ayahuasca again.
You would?
Yes.
What?
It was weird because when they were, when they're explaining to you the stuff of what you might see, and they say you see snakes and a woman,
yeah.
Right? But I didn't get that from watching stuff. I didn't think of her as that, right?
Okay.
I saw her as just like Mother Nature.
Yeah.
Plants.
Right.
And a figure of a woman. So when she told me that, I thought it was crazy because I had just scheduled my appointment for my tattoo, and it's a woman with a bunch of snakes. Wow. Medusa.
Wow.
So I got that tattoo, and I was just like, dude, I'm telling you, there's no coincidence. Everything happens for a reason.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And you said you continued seeing or recollecting messages afterwards?
Yes.
Really?
When I got home.
Okay.
I was like, turn off the TV, turn off the lights. Like, I don't need anything bright. Yeah. And I just stayed there in the dark. And I said, don't even make noise. And just the sound of the outside was triggering. I'm telling you, like, I can't even smoke weed. So it probably took me a little bit longer. Yeah. I felt personally because I don't, out of my 4 or 5 senses,
Yeah.
So it was more intense for me. Like I felt like I was sleeping and still getting messages. I would dream the next like 2-3 nights and I was still getting messages.
Oh, what type of messages do you recall receiving?
Just of the first night was just her telling me to be better, in the sense of continuing to remind me to breathe.
Okay.
And I think that's what I like, because I was in flight or fight mode. Mm-hmm. Like I was always like, oh, something bad's gonna happen, I gotta figure it out. And I'm always that so bien lista para, like, okay, shit happens, okay, what I gotta do? Right. I'm always trying to figure it out. Yeah. And I was like that, and she kept in my dreams was reminding me, like, be present and breathe. Like anything that happens after that, you'll figure it out. Yeah. But I was always expecting the worst to happen. Yeah. That's how I was living. It's like, fuck, now this happened. And it'd be the smallest shit. It'd be something happened. I'm like, oh my God, why did that happen to me? Like, I was fight or fight. I was trying to worry I was worrying about what the worst thing that was going to happen and not enjoying
the
present.
Yeah.
and breathing. And that whole week I was just like, I forget to breathe.
Yeah.
I was forgetting to breathe.
And you know what's crazy? That breathing is life, right?
Yes, air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at times it's the like smallest thing that breathe means like, hey, just be present, be alive, just be you, right?
Yes.
Crazy.
Because we're just human. We're just meat suits, and we're really spirits.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. This is
We're
our
spiritual beings.
exactly. This is just our vehicle.
Yes. This is like the 3D version of our spirit.
Definitely.
So I believe that. I'm like, you're right. Like, we do have to. Remember I was showing those past life regression? I don't know if you ever watched the videos. That
I
past
saw.
life,
Yeah, I saw those clips. Yeah.
That's like my next step to do that, because what I really am stuck on trying to figure out what do I need to do right in this lifetime, so I don't either come back again or I'll have a better lifetime than on my next one. Because I don't want to, if I keep having to relive trauma in these lifetimes, what do I need to do different so it's better for the next, my spirit, whatever you want to call it, my next lifetime has a better life.
Right.
Because now I'm worried, I'm focusing on, okay, my next lifetime, what can I do better now?
Yeah.
For my next lifetime. I don't want to live, because it's true. They says if you research, right, past life regression is like you continue to go through stuff in these lives if you're not learning your life lessons. What am I not learning now that I need to learn so my next lifetime is better? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or just don't bring me fucking back.
Yeah.
Let me go. Leave me alone, because this life ain't it.
Yeah. Yeah. Life is hard.
It is. That's what I'm telling. That's what. Oh, I didn't even say that. When we were in the bathroom, like I'm telling you, I have to remember those things.
Yeah. No, definitely.
I was telling her when she was telling me, like, you need to let it go, and when my daughter's face, right? But I was telling her, like, I need to protect my kids. And I was repeating myself, I need to protect my. She's like, you need to let that go. These are burdens and shit that I'm carrying with me that is bothering me. Like, this is what I wake up to and think about. Like, how am I going to protect my kids? What am I going to do today? What am I going to do? And the main one is, how am I going to protect my kids? Like, I don't sleep at night at times because I'm getting up, checking on they're okay.
Yeah.
Right? Oh. And that's my trauma.
Wow.
That's my trauma. It doesn't matter where I'm at.
Yeah.
Like, you good? Okay, they're in bed? Okay. Like, I'm okay.
Yeah.
But I get up almost every other night checking on my kids to make sure they're okay. Like, that's just fucking trauma. Huh. And I was telling her, how do I protect my kids? And I'm looking at her and I'm crying.
Right.
And I'm telling her, Mama Ayahuasca, please, dime, ¿cómo voy a proteger a mis niñas? How am I going to protect them from living the life I lived?
Right.
And I kept saying, you can't give me a fucking answer. And I was telling her, you can't give me an answer. So how are you going to tell me to let it go? Tell me, how am I going to protect my girls? I have daughters, right? I know men go through stuff too, and this is facts. I've met a lot of men in my life that have gone through stuff that I've gone through, most men. But it's my job as a mom. I need to protect my daughters to avoid going through stuff I went through. Now tell me, how am I going to do that? How are you going to tell me to let it go? That was what lasted me longer in the bathroom, was that final end was, how do I protect my kids? Dime cómo los voy a proteger. I'm not going to let it go. Tell me. You need to heal yourself. And that's what she's telling me. You need to heal yourself. You're not even protecting yourself. That's what his wife was telling me. You're not even protecting yourself. How are you going to protect them? You're messing yourself up. You're not protecting yourself. How are you going to protect them?
No.
And I was like, I know, but I don't care. Tell me, how am I going to protect my kids?
Yeah.
And that's where when I was saying, humans are worse than fucking demons. Not all humans, right? The ones that do fucked up shit to kids and humans, torture and abuse. That's scary to me. That's what I mean. Like, I can't even go to the park with my kids by myself because I'm scared. Like, I think of the worst case and I'm like, God forbid I look away or I look down on my phone and something happens.
Right.
I'm scared. That terrifies me. That's what I kept saying. How to protect my kids. Tell me, how am I going to do that? You can't tell me that, then you can't tell me to let it go. Tell me, how am I going to protect my kids?
And the message was to pretty much like focus on yourself.
Yes. Focus on yourself. You're not protecting yourself, and and she meant that, like, emotionally, spiritually, everything.
Yeah.
Because I'm here settling for less, and doing stupid shit for like nothing. For
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
How are you gonna protect them if you're not even okay?
Yeah.
How are they gonna be okay? You're not okay.
And I think another thing, it goes back to that you're always looking out for other people.
Yes.
Trying to do deeds for other people that at the end of the day they're not looking out for you, right?
Nope.
So taking out earlier you were saying that you don't have time, or how do you find time for this, for that, but yet again you're helping out so many other people that that's extra time that you can be putting focus on yourself and building yourself up.
Yes, that's me being crazy and delusional. Like I can find time. That time that I lay down and like scrolling through freaking Instagram, watching spiritual posts, I could be making my candles that I've been wanting to do.
Yeah,
like stuff like that.
You know what really helps that I tell Chelo is that get yourself a whiteboard. As simple as it sounds, get yourself a whiteboard and be
A vision board.
Nah, just a whiteboard that, you know what, 1 hour 5 times out of the week I worked on, let's say for instance I worked on my candles, right?
Yeah.
1 hour, because now you're gonna be like looking at Monday like, fuck, I didn't do anything of that. Okay, tomorrow I'll do it. So you didn't do it. So you start seeing it
Visually seeing
it.
it.
You start visually seeing it, and you realize, fuck, I haven't accomplished any of the things that I've told myself. So it puts a little bit more pressure on you actually
holding yourself accountable.
Yes,
that's
definitely.
where I'm at, in a place where I need to hold myself accountable for the shit I don't do.
Get yourself, even if it's a piece of paper, but I like a whiteboard so I can check it off and all that.
Yeah, you're organized, huh? Are you like an organized OCD kind of person?
No, when it comes down to myself, I'm very goal oriented.
Oriented, yes.
When it comes down to like organized, I'm freaking messy.
You're goal driven.
That's when Chilla comes into play. She's like the mess. She's the organizer. She's the one that she's always kind of like picking things up, making sure everything's
complete
fine.
opposite. Yeah. I'm ADHD. Like I'll be like, oh, I'm here watching this, and I see that, and I'm like, okay, I stop doing that, and I'm doing the next. I'm like that, right? And even like I said, you're goal driven. I'm more of like helping driven, and not for myself, and that's where I'm trying to fix. But I need to work on my organization because, girl, when you're like, oh, my house is like, I was like, this is nothing. Your house is clean. You're good. It's not messy.
Yeah, but honestly, I would highly recommend that, and I'll give that even as a challenge. Put yourself just a piece of paper.
Don't hold me to that, Angel.
Yeah, just do it. Just bitch.
Because if it's visual, I'm probably not gonna, if I see that, I'll do it later. You know, I'm not
trust me. But it's gonna be like.
Yes.
It's going to be like in the back of your mind. Trust me.
Yeah. It's in the back of my mind every day. And I'm just like, I'll put it off. That's what I'm trying to fix. And that's why I feel like I need to continue to do ayahuasca for that.
Yes. I would say ayahuasca for sure.
There's some blockages. Like what is blocking me from wanting to do stuff for myself?
And
still?
I think starting with small accomplishments is huge. What would be the first step? Let's say, right now we're talking about candles, right? Because that's something you wanted, right? What would be the first step to you get started? What, getting the materials?
No, I have all the materials just sitting there.
So it's just actually getting started?
Yes. I started a couple, right?
Okay.
Did a couple, gave them out, and everybody liked them.
Okay.
But then I'm very, I have like my spiritual advisor told me, she's like, you just have so many ideas that are creative, and people will buy it because you have so many ideas, and they're creative. Because I like decorating, I like doing stuff like that. I just change what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like I bought all this stuff, and I don't like it, man. I need to change it. Then I have to change it. I'm constantly changing. Like I don't like this. I don't like that. I don't like that. Because my creativeness changes.
Right, but if imagine then you're never going to accomplish anything.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm impossible to
because
women.
We're because
impossible.
Imagine if like I was too like picky with, oh man, didn't like this, I didn't like that, I would never post anything, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. You have to just be vulnerable and be okay that not everything is going to be perfect.
Yeah.
You know? Not
only that, like you said in the beginning, we're worried about what other people are going to say.
Yeah. And
even this podcast, I'm like dreading, like, I'm gonna make sure I don't look at the comment because I don't know what people are going to say. Right? The same thing with my candles. Like, what if people don't like it? What if people don't like this?
What was the message that we got through this podcast?
Fuck it. Fuck it. Don't listen to Isabel. That's the message you got.
And fuck that. And at the end, nobody fucking cares, you know?
Yeah.
If they don't like it, what are they going to do? Just continue scrolling.
No, people be leaving comments. Like, I be seeing stuff, and I'm just like, who the fuck takes the time to write a mean comment on people you don't freaking know?
People that are
when
miserable.
they're being exactly.
Yeah.
But that would probably bother me. Like, if it was me back in the day, you probably would have got beat up.
Yeah.
Back in the, if you knew me from back then, I was like anger and beating up people all the time. Now I'm more, as I got older, I was just like, oh, I want to help people. That's like me rectifying, or I guess you want to say, all the stuff that I was doing before, being a fucking asshole. Now I want to be a better human being.
That's good.
But now that I was being a better human being, making up for being mean, then now I'm fucking destroying myself. Now I gotta work myself back up.
Yeah,
So.
and life is a journey, you know.
Yes,
definitely. So I mean, that's part of life, you know. What I mean?
And people are gonna be assholes.
Yeah. And you know what? Because we've experienced that. I've mentioned that in the past. We experienced like all the trolls and all that, because certain posts that take off, when they first like started commenting, fuck man, like they started calling me so many different names out there. They started like clowning on her.
That's fucked up. Can you imagine? That's so mean. I mean, I can't imagine. You guys know, not imagine, but it like that stuff bothers me. Even random posts, and you see people commenting on people's weight, commenting on how they look, commenting on stuff. Like, who do you think you're really that better looking to be commenting on people like that? It bothers me, and it's not even me, and it bothers me. It's like, yo, you're miserable as fuck.
Yeah, and you know, but what's crazy is that I would go to their page. It was private. They only had like a very minimal like follower count. Not that it matters, but you start seeing patterns, right?
Yeah.
You start seeing patterns that, okay, maybe they're private. They're not. Maybe have a few posts here and there, or they don't even have a picture of themselves, and so you start seeing all these different things that they're not truly happy with themselves. So that's why they want to make somebody
deflect.
They want to make somebody else feel the same way.
And that's hard, because we're still human beings, and words are really strong. I'd rather you punch me in the face than you call me something that could really hurt my feelings, because I have to live with that. My face, you could punch me and I'll be like, all right, whatever, I'm going to punch you back. But words are deep. I think that's much, it carries. Words carry weight.
But there's, como dicen, there's this saying that stuck with me forever, and it's just like, las estatuas se hicieron para los criticados, no para los críticos, right? Because the people that get a statue are the ones that are like, they're praised, right? And all the critics are always on the sidelines, similar to comments. They're all like, look at this guy, look. But what are you doing that you're being looked upon?
Yeah.
You know? Nothing.
Like, you took the time to watch my video and comment. Thank you.
There was something that I did, or something that you saw that triggered you and made you take time out of your life to leave something behind.
Yeah.
You know, so it is what it is. And at the end of the day, you have to be okay with that, and just so be it. Just that's going to be part of your process as well. You know,
my journey.
Like, it's part of it, and I'm still learning as I go, but. Yeah, it wasn't easy at first when I started seeing all those different comments, but it's something that if I really want to continue like spreading my personal journey and sharing my growth, my current I guess learning as I go, then I am going to experience hate. I am going to experience love. I am going to experience people like yourself that got motivated because of a post that we did. And honestly, you being here it's only a sign that we're on the right path.
You are. Yeah. You are. And I told you guys that. Well, I told you that in the message too. Like, keep doing what you're doing, because all it takes is that one person, and life changing. This was life changing for me. It was beautiful. Hard, intense, hard, but it was so worth it.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'm scared too for the next ceremony. I know you're scared, but I'm so scared too.
Yeah.
But we'll see how it goes. That's why I'm bringing all these girls with me at once, and let's get it over. I might back out when I get there. Yeah. If you're watching this, I might back out, but I'll be there to support.
Yeah, and it's scary because it's nothing recreational, right? It's something that you have to take with respect, right? And be like, okay, I'm ready.
Yeah. And that's how I was. Yeah. And I thought I was till I was in it, and then I was fighting it, and then I surrendered.
Yeah.
But
Trust
it is
me,
much harder.
Yeah, definitely. I recall those 2 last moments, and I'm like, oh man, I want to because I know it's healing, but part of me like, oh man, what if it takes me to another like journey of just purging, you know? So,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, it's things that I probably needed. But maybe I had toxins inside of me that I needed to get
Release.
rid of. Yeah.
What was your message behind your ayahuasca?
The deepest message that I got on ayahuasca was how to deal with my mom at the end of the day, because similar to what you were saying, at one point, you know how girls now, even though they have kids and all that, they still go out, do their thing, party and stuff, and they might leave their kids maybe with a nanny or things like that. Believe it or not, something as small as that can impact a kid's life, right?
Yeah.
Because I experienced that my mom, I would stay behind with my grandma at my grandma's house, and my mom would like leave to party, right, or go dance, do her thing. And I get it, right? Women have to have fun, right?
Have a life.
Yeah, have a life.
It's not that
but
way, though.
it impacted me because I was a kid that I'm like, Mom, you're leaving me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And the message, and till this day, I still recall like me the next day, right after my mom went out, I still recall me because we were living, I think it was like 2 blocks away, right? I still remember I woke up super early because all I remembered was my mom like not being home, and I was like, okay, it's the morning, she'll be home. So I literally woke up and I walked like, I think it was like a block or 2 to go back to where I lived with my mom, and kind of like and knocked and like, hey Mom, like, hey, I'm here, you know what I mean, like it's morning, and she was there with some guy, you know.
Yeah.
From
The night before.
Yeah, the night before, whatnot.
Yeah.
And it was just like things like that impact, because it's just like, damn, you rather like spend time with this man rather than with me, you know?
Yeah.
So that was one that I'm still currently like healing with. But the message that I received was that I was given to my mom because my mom needed more of me than I needed more of my mom, right? So what I'm trying to say by that was that I'm a lot more mature than my mom, that I, in a sense, have to take care of my mom. That's why I was given to her, right? And I feel like I've been doing that like almost my whole life till this point. I still help her out, whether it's financially or looking out after her. But the message that Mother Ayahuasca told me, that even though she's my physical mom in this physical realm, to not forget that she is my Mother Ayahuasca at the end of the day, and that she's always going to be taking care of me.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I know it's hard. That's what I was worried. Like, you're talking about people that are still around.
Yeah.
Right? Around us and that we love, and how can we still, I feel like still trying to protect them without tarnishing their image or whatever, because that's personal and that's deep. But like you said, sometimes you, as a kid, you have to be the parent for our parents, and that's so freaking relatable.
Yeah.
And it's tough, so thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. No, thank you as well. Dave, is there anything in specific that you would want to ask?
When's your next ceremony?
The 30th of November.
Oh, it's right around the corner.
Yes.
Yeah.
You going with me, Chelo? Let's go.
Is there any last message you would want to leave behind? Anything, whether a memory that you experienced through ayahuasca that you forgot to mention, or just the last message for anybody that made it this far?
Just forgiveness, I guess, was like a big thing that I thought I was really doing and I really wasn't. In order for you to move on and be a better human being, you really got to dig deep within and heal yourself. And this is the way to go, I feel personally. And that's why I'm telling everybody, my friends, family, hey, let's go do this. This is what you need to do. We need to be better. Let's do better, and this is a way to do it.
Yeah.
And like I said, my experience was different than everybody else's, and it's not going to be the same.
Yeah. Everybody's experience is going to be different. They're going to get what they need.
Yes.
Yeah.
You really are. And you might need a couple sessions like me.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful. In the end, it's beautiful. And then we can share our story like I did here. And that was just off of one comment.
Mm.
And now we're here.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and
don't be mean in the comments to us, please.
Yeah. Yeah. No, honestly, what you're doing, it's something very positive.
It's really hard for me.
Yeah.
Really freaking hard.
It's very positive, but at the same time, it's just if they end up being like that, but remember what the message is. So
Yes.
fuck it. It is what it is. You know what?
Yeah.
You know who you are as a person. And at the end of the day, you have to look out for yourself, for your inner circle, your immediate family, and fuck it, man.
Yes, fuck it. Fuck it.
Yeah. All right. Well, if there's not anything else that you would like to share, you're good.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I appreciate. Thank you guys for
Yeah.
having me. I appreciate and
Yeah.
welcome me into your home and continue doing what you guys are doing.
Thank you. I was actually recollecting that when we were just like talking right now. It was kind of like, I don't know, like I feel like for some reason I'm being driven to continue doing this, and I really, really enjoy doing podcasts and having these deep conversations, and something inside of my heart tells me to continue doing that, so I'm going to continue doing it.
Continue doing it.
Yeah.
So bring the podcast to the ceremony. See how now I'll see Bella walking down there by herself, tripping.
Yeah, for
that'd be a good podcast.
Yeah.
But really look into the past life regression therapy.
Okay.
Like that should be your next thing, and then talk about it and then let me know how it goes. See if there was any spirits attached to you, or what your past life was like.
That's interesting.
That'd be a really good podcast. Or like she records it, right? Your thing, your experience, and then you could post it as a video.
Wow.
Your experience on past life regression.
Wow. I'm going to look into that.
For real. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Then when you do it, then I'll maybe do it.
Yeah.
If yours is not that bad, then I'll do it.
That's crazy. All righty. Well, like I always like to say, it's a greater risk, not taking a risk. Till next time. Thank you, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, leave a beautiful comment for her.
Thank you.
And thank you. All right. Cool. Woo! That was good.
Oh, I said I wasn't going to cry.
You can put it.